Hi, you should subscribe to the Monaresclub. Because the Principal of Saiyans told you to, idiot. Bye.
Yo, what's up guys? This is James bringing you another deck profile for the Monaresclub here, youtube.com. Today I'm going to be profiling set 1 Frieza. This is a mono yellow build. I had a lemon lime build featured on the community tab on the channel that I also enjoyed. It was a lot more aggressive than this. This is a lot more of a mid-range oriented deck, but if you want to see the lemon lime version, you can see that over on the community tab. I also have a gameplay up on the channel with that deck as well. But today we're going to be focusing on this mono yellow version. I call this limeless Frieza because we had lemon lime for so long, and I played green yellow for a really long time, and I really enjoyed it. But we've gotten enough cards where now I think mono yellow can be viable, and I think it honestly might be better than the green yellow version at the moment. So without further ado, let's get into the deck. So this is Frieza from set 1. If you guys are newer players to the game, you might not have seen this leader before. He's super good though, especially for a leader that came out all the way back in set 1. He's yellow. He has an activate main once per turn. You place one of your Frieza's army battle cards in the drop area. You choose up to one of your energy, switch it to active mode, then draw one. So he gives you some really decent energy manipulation on the front as well as some filtering without having to attack. You're not necessarily going plus on this effect by itself because you're trading one card for an energy and a card in your hand. So you get +1 energy but not card advantage, but with the cards we're going to be throwing away, they all generate card advantage on their own, which turns this into a plus after all is said and done. It's standard awaken when you're left at 4 or less, you draw 2 because that's what all of them did back in the day. Ultimate form Golden Frieza on the back, just iconic art. I love this guy so much. So he has the same activate main. You place one of your Frieza's army battle cards in the drop area, then you choose up to 2 of your energy, switch them to active mode, and draw 1. So you basically get to turn your 1-drop Frieza's armies into sensu beans. In the back, it's absolutely crazy. And then he also has on attack, draw 1. So your card advantage, you're just going to be going through so many cards, seeing so many, have a huge stacked hand with this guy, and it's going to be awesome. So that's the whole point of the deck here, is to just kind of play a bunch of cheap Frieza's army cards, generate value off of them, and then continue to have energy to play with on both players' turns. Pretty straightforward, but very, very effective as well. Alright, so there's this one. Well, we'll start with the 1-drops. These are the lifeblood of the deck. This is the engine, essentially, of the deck. So we've got 4 Sorbet, commander of Frieza's forces. This guy, he has another effect, an activate main, which only works with the Life Frieza deck from set 12. We're only playing him for the auto. When you play him, you dig 5 for Frieza's army, put it into your hand. With a Frieza's army that costs 3 or less, put it into your hand. So that puts you plus, then you can sack him to the Frieza, and then continue to get advantage there. Play another 1-drop, keep going. Tagima, Cold as Ice, and Ginyu, former Galactic Elites. Both of these guys are like Sorbet. They have effects that work with the Life Frieza deck, but we don't even use that in here. They're just a 1-cost 4K, draw a card when you play them. So then you can play them, draw a card, crack them, draw another card, untap one, and then play another 1-drop from your hand. And the first couple of turns is very effective. These might seem kind of lackluster, but once you kind of see how the engine of the deck works, it all comes together really well, and these are the lifeblood of the deck for sure. Then the rest of the Frieza's army cards, we've got 4 Frieza's Call. This is an extra card from set 1. It's still an incredibly effective one. You get to search your deck for a Frieza's army with cost 2 or less and put it into play in rest mode. This is effectively just another 1-drop cantripping Frieza's army card, because you're just generally going to be getting these guys in rest mode, draw 1. But it's also an extra card, so it pairs incredibly well with our next card we have here, which is Mecha Frieza Robotic Riposte. I've been looking, this is the primary reason I've been looking at playing this leader again, is because this card synergizes really well with Frieza's Call, along with like Power of a Super Saiyan and all the other extra cards you want to be playing in yellow anyway, because this helps you get set up. This is an extra card you just churn through really quickly in the first couple of turns, and then this gets your Floodgate set up really well. Playing 4 of this, I know a lot of people play 3, I like to play 4, because we are playing 55 cards in this deck, and I just want to make sure I see this card consistently, because it's just a powerhouse and it keeps you in the game longer to make your mid-range bombs and value work a little bit better. And then rounding out the rest of the Frieza's army cards, we just have our super combos for Dodoria, the Emperor's Attendant. This guy doesn't say super combo, he's been errated to be a super combo because he's from set 1, and in set 1 there was only 1 super combo in each color, and they hadn't made that a thing yet, so it's kind of funny. But yeah, this is our super combo. We're just playing 4 of those because they're tutorable off of Sorbet. Keeps our sorbet hits high and makes sure we see all of our super combos every game. Really, really good. Alright, we'll get into the rest of the 1-drops here before moving on to the meat and potatoes. We've got 4 Master Roshi, Martial Master. This guy's kind of a weird one. He was a promo from the World Martial Arts expansion, not from the World Martial Arts set, but when they did like the TP boosters for World Martial Arts. He's for the Jackie Chun leader, but none of his stuff is leader tied. So he's a self-awakener, essentially. So he's a 1-drop. He comes into play, you choose a life, and add it to your hand. So you just play him, take a life. You don't even have to go to combat, like with a Goku or a Krillin or something like that. And then he also has an activate main, pay 1, choose 1 card in your life, add it to your hand, and then you choose 1 Moon-destroying Kamehameha from your deck, add it to your hand, and then negate this skill for the game. We don't play Moon-destroying Kamehameha in the deck. Spoiler alert. That's for the Jackie Chun deck. We literally just use this as a way to take an extra life, because our leader can't self-awaken, and his backside is so much better than his front side. We really want to get to the back and have control over when we get there. So this guy's probably the best self-awakener for the deck, because we can take 2 life in the same turn if we want to. We can go from 6 to 4 incredibly easily, and then get that 2 energy back by sacking a Frieza's army on the backside. Or just take 1, and then on the next turn, if he's still around, we can take another 1 by paying 1. Incredible card. I would definitely recommend playing this over like the Double Strike 1-drops and such, just because being able to take 2 life without having to wait a turn is incredible. Then we got 2 Basil Fatal Rampage. This is another 1-drop coming to play draw a card. It's not a Frieza's army, but it's still a really strong card to play, especially because we always have extra energy in this deck. A lot of the time in the early games, and it's just an extra energy sink. You play him, draw a card, and then he's a threat later on as well. Just, you know, Basil's Basil. He's incredible. That's the rest of our 1-drops there. Let's see. So the next part is the meat and potatoes of the deck, kind of the finishers. We've got 4 Raiders Warcry. Thankfully, this guy is so much cheaper now thanks to the AnyBox. He's not like $50 a copy like he was a year ago. And this guy's just awesome. You can combo him into play for 2. He's a 2-cost 10k combo into play. Double Strike. When you play him, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards, switch it to rest mode, and draw 1, so he replaces himself automatically. He's 2 energy, which makes use of the energy on the backside of the leader incredibly well that you get back. You can, make offensive plays on your turn, sack a Frieza's army dude, and then either use this on your turn if you want to be aggressive, or use it defensively, because this can get you out of 2 attacks, essentially, by comboing, and then you play him and rest mode an opponent's card and draw a card. And then you have a 20k beater to pressure them with as well. Perfect card for the deck. The only bad thing about it is it's not a Frieza's army, but, what can you do? Our boss monster is Frieza, Divine Presence. I'm only playing, Divine Transformation, sorry. I'm only playing 3 of this guy. He is crazy good, but he costs 5, and there's no way to reduce it. So it's a lot of investment, and you can't play him before turn 5 at all. But he's very, very good when you do get to play him. He's a deflect double strike blocker, and he has a permanent that he can't be removed from your battle area by your opponent's skills. Like, at all. Like, flat out. It's not even like Goku Divine Presence, where it's only on your turn. It's both players' turns. They can't kill him with skills. Incredible. When you play him, you choose all of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, KO them, then you flip one of your face-up life face down, which only applies to the life Frieza leader, and then at the end of the turn you switch him to active mode. So he's a 25k double strike blocker that wipes the board, all the stuff in rest mode at least. And then if you somehow didn't kill them with this, you get to restand him and you get a 25k blocker during their turn. Super good. Plus he has this auto once per turn. When your opponent activates a counter attack skill, you choose up to 2 of your opponent's cards, switch them to rest mode, and they can't be switched to active mode until the end of your opponent's next turn. So even if they're trying to defend themselves from this guy, they're going to get punished. He's just a super good mid-range bomb that you can just play during the mid to late games to help close out the game and go over the top of your opponent's decks. I've seen some people play 4. You can definitely play 4. I just felt like 3 was the right number. You see so many cards that by turn 5 you probably are going to see one of these if you want it. And again, I don't always even play this on turn 5 because it can be a little scary to tap out for this guy. If you start turn 5 with a Frieza's army card already in play, like one of your derpy 1-drops that you left in play from an earlier turn, this is a really safe play because you can play him, tap out, and then, assuming you're awakened by that point, you can sack this other card you have in play, untap 2, and then you have this guy up +2 energy to defend yourself with. But a lot of opponents are pretty keen to making sure they keep these off your table, so if they're doing that, then this guy probably won't come down till turn 6, unless you're feeling really confident you can close the game out with one beefy boy. But yeah, this card's really good. And then we'll have a bunch of one-ofs here to close out the rest of our battle cards. We have the one Bergamo, Ferocious Roar. Incredible in this deck, better than most decks because we have this energy manipulation that helps us get to, it's like Raider's Warcry where we just have the extra energy to spare on the opponent's turn a lot of the time. Swift Retaliation Cooler, this card's really good. I could even see playing a second one of these because we're playing 55 cards. I love this card to death. It's so good, especially with everyone relying so heavily on their floodgates now. They're investing a lot of energy into their counterattacks a lot of the time, like Oceanuses, Boos, Topos, all that kind of stuff, and then you just stop them and you get to clear the way. It's not a Frieza's Army, unfortunately, but it's still just a generically good yellow card. Secret Identity Mass Saiyan. This is our overwhelm card in the deck. I wouldn't mind having room for another one of these, but it's really hard to go over 55 cards to me. You could maybe even go up to 60, but I feel like the consistency of the deck suffers too much at that point. But this card's incredible in the format right now. You can get rid of all those like Goku Black blockers, the blocker tokens from the opponents, testing the oppositions and stuff like that. It's just really good. You can play Fighting Against Fate too, but this card's been awesome for me in this deck, especially since yellow kind of struggles with hard removal. Supreme Card Time. You can play whatever secret rare you want. You could play Sin Shenron secret rare in this deck too, because you can play him for 2 energy, kind of like a Raider's Warcry, which is good, and you can play Heroine's Lineage too, but I like the girl, she's the best. And then Furthering Destruction Champa to help close out the games. It's a Champa, you know what it does. We've only got 2 Unisons. We're not playing a full Unison package, just playing a couple of these Super Saiyan Trunks Altering the Future, just because they're really good. They're just a really, really good card. If you don't know what this card does, he's a pretty slept-on Unison. A lot of people have been coming around to him more recently, but he's really good. He's a 20k for 3 with dual attack. So he has a +0, activate main, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, switch him to rest mode. And then if it was an energy cost 4 or less, you negate its skills and KO it. So the negate skills part is actually very relevant for a lot of cards, because if they have an effect where they work on KO or something, you just clean them up. It's just removal in yellow, and then it's stapled to a 20k dual attacker. And the -3 is also incredible. You draw 1 card, then choose all your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and KO them. It doesn't ignore Barrier, unfortunately. I did run into that at locals this week. I tried to clear a Broly that had Barrier, but that was not how that worked. But it's still really good. Just having the board wipe, if your opponent's going super wide and you can't deal with it, having the board wipe is awesome. Plus you get to have a 20k dual attacker on the same turn you do it, and it replaces itself. We just want more mid-rangey threats with this deck. I started out with just like 2 of these Raider's Warcries in the deck, and then I kept being like, man, I have all this energy in the mid-game I don't know what to do with, so I bumped it up to 2, and then all the way up to 3, and I still felt like, man, I could use a little bit more, like, meat in the middle portions of the game before you play Divine Presence, and this card's just been super awesome for that. It's just a great little way to spend all of your energy and get a lot of value. Yeah, Trunks is awesome, plus, that SPR art looks clean, so what can you do there? Alright, 4 Power of a Super Saiyan coming up to the extra cards. It's Power of a Super Saiyan. I don't see a reason not to play 4, because you can just cycle it if it's ever dead. It's just super good. You can cycle it on both players' turns, too, so even if you have, like, 3 in your hand, you can charge 1, cycle 1 on your turn, and then you still have 1 up on your opponent's turn. So this card's just awesome. Don't leave home without it, especially with Robotic Riposte in the list. 2 Giant Ball. This card's really good right now. I don't love it in a lot of decks, but since this leader, it's so easy to have energy up on the opponent's turn, I like this card a lot. This card's going to get replaced by the Goku in set 15 when that comes out, but until then, Giant Ball's what we got. 2 Vegeta's Final Flash is just, really solid option all around. 2 Frieza Army Reinforcements for that defense, and then 1 Cold Bloodlust as our bonus secret rare for being a yellow Frieza's Army leader. But yeah, that's the deck profile, guys. It's a super cool mid-rangey deck. You just play a lot of value. You can kind of pivot towards your aggro game plan or your slower game plan as you see fit, which is the playstyle I really enjoy being able to have access to. And this Leader's Awaken turn is just super incredible too. Like, if you haven't experienced this Awaken, it's just incredible because you get to do your ability on the front and the back, right? So you can go on your turn, you get to kill a thing, untap 1, draw 1, awaken, draw 2, swing, draw 1, and then you can do the ability again where you kill a thing, untap 2, draw 1. So you effectively get to draw 5 and get 3 energy back on your awaken turn. It's really good. If you're a Frieza fan, or if you just like yellow mid-range decks that aren't just like a complete pile of good stuff, we obviously have a lot of good stuff in this deck, but there's a little bit more synergy in the deck than your normal, like your Kid Icarus and stuff like that. Definitely give this deck a try. Hit us up in the comments section if you've got any questions, anything like that. I'm always happy to answer those for you guys. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. Hit the like button, obviously, if you liked the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.